We're back in a BMW. So this is the first one in a while that hasn't had the beaver teeth. I just want to start there.
BMWs without the beaver teeth are few and far between, apparently.
And we have to celebrate them. This is the 2022 BMW M240i. We love the 2 Series. We loved it. The last generation we were completely in love with. We drove it all the way up through all the M2s, including the M2 CS. But this M240 only comes automatic, all-wheel drive.
I've been looking forward to driving this because we like the car so much that when I first saw it, I knew there was something different.
The styling?
The styling, but the proportions changed.
Yes.
And this car has a 2-inch longer wheelbase than the prior 2 Series. 2 inches longer.
Yep.
The track is 2.5 inches wider, 2.4 in the back, 2.5 in the front. The overall car is 4 inches longer.
It's much bigger visually and every way across the board.
Everywhere this car has grown, which tells me BMW is doing something. They're going to slot the 2002. They're going to resurrect that car, and they're going to slot it just beneath this car, and it's going to be the driver's car, slightly smaller, and that'll be the enthusiast car, and this will now just be the GT car, because that is what this has turned into. It is the Supra engine and transmission.
Yes,
the
it is.
B58
Yep.
engine, 382 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque, the 8-speed automatic, which is great.
It's very good.
With all-wheel drive. It's like a Supra all-wheel drive, except the wheelbase is 10 inches longer than the Supra.
That is
10 inches longer. This is now kind of a big car.
It's a 3 Series.
Great cars, great roads, and all the reasons we love to drive.
TV, web, and podcast. This is Everyday Driver.
What I think is bizarre is that in the actual marketing materials, BMW refers to this as their sporty compact coupe. There's nothing compact about this. Nothing. Only the fact that it's the smallest car in the lineup. That's the only reason it's compact.
If you compare this to the rest of the BMW lineup,
I guess
that's how the marketing people get there. It's all relative. You don't compare it to the rest of the industry. You compare it to your own portfolio.
There's nothing compact about this whatsoever.
Yeah,
it is quite quick, by the way. That Supra engine, that B58 that's been in everything has. Okay, all right, pick a lane. There you go.
She saw your face coming.
Because it's still not an attractive face. It's just not a beaver-teethed face. But but this car is very quick. I mean, this
BMW sandbags
all the time. It's that thing, the underreported thing they do.
Yes, the sandbags. It's quick. Every time I look down, I'm like, well, so that's a number. What is that number? That's a wrong number. I should slow down.
Exactly. No, that is one of the things about it. Not only does BMW underreport across the board their stuff. Honestly, I think
underreport.
I think their numbers are for the worst possible conditions on the planet. You're driving like the high mountain passes at 15,000 feet. You still have the horsepower advertised.
Right.
Because here we are at 7,000 feet, and it's blindingly quick. And I'm very impressed with that. One of my problems, though, is what you just stated, and that is, this is incredibly capable to the point that I don't even feel engaged with what's going on anymore. I can't believe that number's that big.
I can't believe too capable.
Everything is happening so fast, so easily, that the joy, this is going to sound weird, the joy of getting there, the joy of earning speed is completely gone.
Earning speed,
There's none.
Right.
And every time I look down, and I say, look, we drive quickly, I get that, we love to drive, all of that gets discussed, but this car, more than most I've driven, I look down and I'm doing 15 to 20 faster than I think I am all the time. And the fact that I'm not connected to that reality, to what you just said, I'm going, wait, really? And then I realize I haven't felt any of that sensation. In spite of sport mode and in spite of the fact transmission's really good, I'm not engaged with this car, but I intellectually know, wow, this is fast.
Anything you want to do to pass a car, get around somebody, accelerate onto an on-ramp, stopping, the power in every category. And the numbers on this car aren't really huge.
True.
I mean,
except for the weight. It's 3,900 pounds.
Well, that does bring us to weight. Almost 3,900 pounds. Over a decade ago, when you and I drove the Nissan GTR, we were blown away that a 38 or 3,900 pound car could do the things that it did.
Yes.
It was a V6, it was all-wheel drive, 4-passenger, 2-door car.
I love that you brought that up.
Here's that recipe again,
I
even
love
though
that you brought that up.
This is not the M2. This was not designed to be a GTR competitor, but same recipe.
and the same problem. That's the reason I like that you mentioned it, because it's the same problem. I am amazed by what's possible. The 0 to 60 of this is under 4. Mid 3s for some outlets have actually gotten mid 3s. Under
it's
4,
because
0
it puts
to 60.
its power down with the all-wheel drive.
And it is chasing and in some cases beating some of the prior M2. Like the first M2 they released, this is faster than that.
This has more power than the 2016 M2.
The original M2, this is faster and better than that car.
Yes.
Which means you have to get into the competition or the CS to trump this.
Yes.
But I am not involved, and I'm amazed in the same way as the GTR. The 2 Series has been, BMW for me, their last bastion of, we really are the ultimate driving machine company. We really are a company that is worried about enthusiasts. That's automatic downshifts. Worried about enthusiasts.
Amazing.
That's worried about fun. That's worried about light, chuckable cars. We still know how to do that. And I feel like the 2 Series is the place that I have hung on to that hope and been like, see, BMW can still do it.
Right.
And now with this, it's bigger, and I'm less involved, and I feel like the thing I liked about the 2 Series isn't here anymore.
I totally agree with you. Everything we've loved about the 2 Series and the compact nature is missing here. And that's why I think, and I hold out my hope, for a 2002. This GRU that allows a slot right underneath.
Who knows?
But the problem is, if that doesn't happen, this is kind of what we're stuck with. And as good as it is, it's not really the driver's compact fun car anymore. BMW has always done the turn your sedan or coupe into a sports car thing.
Yes, we're not going to make
Take
a little sporty coupe.
You know,
we're going to do a sedan. Yep.
And then make it amazing. And that's what the M cars represent. When they do a particular bespoke sports car, they're usually really good. But this does all the sports car things now, and it's not even the M, the true M.
Yeah.
It's astoundingly good. It's astoundingly fast, but we've lost the driver, the true driver's interaction. It's because of technology.
And scale.
A lack of technology, I hate to say it, is kind of what you and I gravitate towards.
True.
Even, I think you even more than me in some cases,
Yes.
but the lack of technology just bolts with a cable or an arm, and it's just mechanical and bolted together. We like that feel of things. But technology has invaded so much, it's so incredibly capable, but we've lost that driver's interaction. Just a simple tube with a bolt and an arm, and it just works.
You could feel
and it's just engineered.
Happens. Yeah, there's not any steering feel here. BMW has struggled with their steering feel of late since they've gone to electric power steering. They've added weight but not feel. This is in the same category. So I can't slide it because it feels like the rest of the lineup. The good news, I will say, about it getting bigger is this is a 2+2, supposedly. This is a 4-seat car. I mean, you can actually put people in the back seat. And you know that was part of the product planning, is we need to have more space and usable back seats. They're absolutely usable back seats. Now, we're trees, so not 4 people our sized. But I had my wife and my son, they're both mid 5 feet, wife and my son sitting over here, and they were both perfectly comfortable. Now, it's not like they were floating in SUV space, but they were both perfectly comfortable. We went on an hour-long drive one way, and they were both fine.
The car has grown, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I looked up the stats for the prior generation 2 Series, and I was expecting the interior space measurements to be wildly more huge. Oh yeah, I totally see inches of rear space and hip room and elbow room. And it said this car had less rear seat leg room than the prior 2 Series. And I went,
that is interesting.
What are we measuring? Are we doing the same benchmark, same H points? Are we measuring from the same places? Because I was expecting a much bigger number. The car grew, I'm expecting a bigger number, and great. It wasn't reflected in the measurements, but you feel it.
I agree.
You instantly feel this is a bigger car. This is what 3 Series used to be like.
Absolutely.
It's now grown that big. You feel it in the interior. Finally, they have updated the interior to match what started 3 or 4 years ago now.
That's always the case.
They finally got around to the 2 Series and put what is now a familiar, good-looking, kind of timeless interior. I like the triangular shapes, the hexagons. They really do look good. It's very much now. It's not a futuristic kind of interior, but good screens. They're not too big. And the materials are excellent.
No, it's really
This is a
cool.
great
And they
place
have
to
a
be.
weird thing on the door panel that looks like it's stitched. It's not. It lights up at night. This M coloring here, those bands that almost look like they're stitched in, like they're carbon fiber or something. It's a plastic panel that lights up at night. It's actually, at first blush, was like, that's a little weird. And then at night, I was like, you know what? That's actually really cool. The door panel has a lot of interesting colors and shapes, and that just makes it intriguing. This is a very nice place to be, and BMW continues to kill it on seats. I cannot slight this car's capability.
Yeah.
I can't slight its comfort. I can't slight its room.
Yeah.
I'm just not involved. And I know BMW, look, the ultimate driving machine moniker was 20 years ago.
But it's so much more relevant now, I think.
Well, that's the thing, is that is the thing that BMW built their tradition on, and many of us that are car lovers still equate that with BMW.
Yeah.
BMW has moved into a much more of a mass market company. I understand we need to make money. I get it. I would just like them to continue to make something where it's like, remember, we do this too. And this car isn't it anymore.
I agree. It's not like they've forgotten their history, but it starts to feel like it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, you need to drive.
I do.
I know styling's subjective, and I know you are the person to speak well on styling. I also know this car is controversial, and I think
Everybody has their opinion.
I think you and I disagree. I think this car is unattractive from every single exterior angle.
Okay.
I don't think this is a good-looking car. I think the last two series, again, was a throwback to BMW knows what they're doing. I think this, while it doesn't have the beaver teeth, I think it's just strange-looking from every single angle.
All right. Well,
It may work for you. I am the
Just
uneducated
hang on
noob
though.
here.
I like the proportions. I like what BMW has done to extend those front wheels out, and it's gotten to be a very classic shape.
Okay.
Imagine just, Tuesday night is profile night, and you...
Here at BMW, bring one pen, one sheet of paper. We're going to do
Seriously.
profiles all night.
That profile, if you don't see any details, it's good looking. It's got a nice shape. Long hood, says
Sure.
inline six.
Sure.
We like that. But what BMW has done, the body sides are very clean. Very crisp theme along the shoulder, and actually an interesting part just behind the rear wheels. It kicks up and there's no vents, there's no intake. It's actually kind of nice, kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
So you just see, white is the wrong color to have it in, but you just see clean body side, and where now all the details are front and rear. You can have an intake be whatever shape. If your engineer tells you a volume of air that needs to come in, and therefore the opening needs to be a particular size, fine.
Hole,
Make the
square, circle.
Doesn't matter. So why did we settle on that shape? And it doesn't seem resolved in the front, even though the front and rear do look like they were designed by the same person.
The person doing the side was in another room, but the front and rear guys were sitting like
look at this great
cubicles
proportion.
facing each other.
I just drew the profile, the center line profile.
I connected you two guys. I'm done. I'm going for coffee.
You're right. I don't love this from every angle. I saw it on the road. I was driving behind you and I saw this, and it was a little bit melted. It didn't have the same forward stance, even though I like the fender swell at the rear.
Yeah, that's cool.
Gorgeous surface.
Yep.
But then how it's resolved is just fussy. Every line is just fussy, and it jogs for inexplicable reasons. And to do it just for the sake of having something different, to me that isn't good design. It needs you need to let the car relax and let those shapes dictate what the headlights and taillights are, because those are what people look at. And if those shapes resolve to something ugly, guess what? Your surfaces are off. Change your surfaces, push them out.
Okay.
Give them a little more swell, a little more form, kick that tail up a little bit more. And that's what, there's too much committee in this design, you can tell. That's where we're at. And in white, with the black surrounds, it looks like your goth girlfriend in high school that had the black lipstick on. Tell me I'm wrong.
Most people would say it's Stormtrooper, but I'm going to go with your description. I think that's better.
Stormtrooper.
That's much better, yeah.
No.
That's it. The BMW
No.
M240 is your goth girlfriend. We have a title. At least we found one.
I mean, look at this car.
I see.
This was
All right.
introduced in that eggplant, which I don't think is eggplant. I think we should name that bruise.
It's just, a bruise is good.
Metallic bruise.
Yes, metallic bruise now from BMW. Yep.
Jeez, this thing just takes
It's
off.
got so much power. Every time I get in something with that B58 engine, it surprises me.
Yeah.
Everything BMW puts it in.
It's a rocket.
It's an absolute bomb of a power plant.
Yeah.
I cannot believe how much power they get out of it.
God.
And the number lies. The number just lies. I don't believe this is under 400 horsepower
Everybody's
or torque.
lying.
I don't think so.
I think you're right. Well, BMW tells us that this has a variable ratio power steering. Okay, fine. We like variable ratios. It's very quick. It's actually quicker than the Supra. But keep in mind, this is 10 inches longer than the Supra wheelbase.
Yes.
You wouldn't want this quick of a ratio on the Supra. You'd be in the weeds every time you turn the wheel.
Exhale, hit somebody, yeah.
So it feels initially very crisp, but there's less information here than any of the prior 2 series.
Agreed.
There's just nothing. It's got a quick turn in, and it feels, the precision is good. That precision has always been there.
Yeah.
It's too digital. It's not analog enough, and that's what technology has done. So we've thrown technology at every part of the car to transform it from comfort into sport. And the things that it can do are astounding.
Yes.
BMW actually concentrated on the adaptive suspension to make the difference between comfort and sport even more noticeable. And it is.
Definitely.
This car comes to life, but it's doing that digitally. It's doing that because of tech. And I know this will continue, but I'm waiting. This car feels even more dead, and we're feeling more of the weight. 3,800 pounds. Oh, man. The last car was like 3,400.
This is
and that
almost
was heavy.
3,900 pounds.
Yeah, exactly. 39.
We're gunning down
With you and I, we're
4,000,
over
which is
4.
insane.
Yeah.
And way too heavy for a car that's in this class. I understand you get a big sedan that weighs this much, but even with all-wheel drive, I mean, yeah, I wish this car was more inviting and engaging versus just country-crushing fast.
Even though that's where the car was born, that's the freeways that they have around it, around Munich. But that's what this feels like now. Is it's insulating you even more.
Completely, yeah.
The numbers have gone up. The performance has gone up. It's dramatic. It's amazing, and you're even more distant from the driving experience, which is a bummer. And I like the car. I want to like it more. The M2's coming.
Yes.
This is a fantastic car. I like it. It doesn't have any driving involvement. This is not the one to choose for your sports car.
But that's the other thing, is that the last 2 series in base form was fun.
Yes.
Every version of the last 2 series we drove, all the way up to the M2 CS, they were all fun. Now, in every case, I will say we never felt like we had enough steering feel, even though I agree it was more than this.
But
we drove every variant. I drove every variant over the spectrum of the car on track and thought, just get a 2 Series. If you want a BMW, that's the one to get.
That 228i from the first iteration, 2012 or 2013.
And this will probably be brilliant in M2 form.
Totally.
But you didn't have to go M2 last time.
Right.
And oh man, and the other thing, speaking of technology, we have turned off every driver assistance feature in this car.
Oh,
we
thank
have
you.
Dug them out. We have found them all. We have turned them off. It still wants to do lane assist.
If somebody can tell us where the big off button is, we have dug into menus. We've looked at everything we can find, and you can turn it to a light feel.
Yes.
But still, when you're near an edge like this, it still fights you. And then the car's swerving and trying to do odd things. It really detracts from the driving experience. And if drivers are who buy BMWs, then we're not the people BMW needs to worry about. We don't need all these driving aids. How about the big off button?
Yes.
Everything off.
Yes.
It's a big red button right in the middle. Hey, I'm going driving now. Hit the button, and everything turns off, and you don't have to worry.
The driver
and then
assistance toggle. I like that.
Yes.
Just flip, 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 flip.
Everything.
Yes.
I'm talking. You don't have to dig in the menus. It's just a big red button, and your passengers will get in and say, "What does this do?"
You left ABS on and everything else off.
Let me
Here we
show
go.
you. And we're
I
going
like
driving
this,
now.
Yes, but honestly, I think that's the thing that has been reduced to, is that the fun is only in. Let me show you how fast it is. That's the thing you want to do, to start giggling and laughing, because that's the thing that it does fast, which is an electric car feature.
Yes.
Let me show you how fast this is. That's the thing we're going to engage with, because everything else is just kind of over here and distant at arm's length.
Does the phrase, "let me show you how this corners," appeal to most of the driving public?
No, unfortunately.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And enthusiasts, that's what we want.
Yeah.
Let me show you how, well, it's kind of slow, but let me show you the speed you can hang on to corners.
Yeah.
Nobody says that.
You can
That's
really
not a
frighten
marketing
the
term.
average person in a
Yes.
fast corner in
People are
a
used to that.
underpowered car. You're right. That's true.
But at this point, this has gotten really expensive. It's almost $58,000, and that's
Yes.
just MSRP. At that point, you've got to look at other things, and you've got to look at used cars. And I thought of a car that this does actually compete with. I looked it up.
Okay.
It is the brand new Dodge Challenger GT with the 303 horsepower V6. Think about it.
In all-wheel drive?
All-wheel drive. 2-door, 4-passenger, all-wheel drive,
Yep,
front-engined,
Yeah.
6-cylinder car.
Yeah, okay. That's funny.
That's
I like that.
kind of a boring matchup. It's also 5,300 pounds.
Oh, man. That makes
Which-
this look
that
light,
makes
which is
this-
horrifying.
This is the lightweight.
But at $58,000, that was M2 money.
yes.
You could get an M2 for that.
And now that's slightly used M2 money. So
Yeah.
I'd say go backwards unless you're just looking for the BMW feel and you just want to be isolated and
Unless
go
you
really
want
fast.
brand new and less involvement. You're right. I think you're better off buying the prior M2.